Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering the second Doctor Strange film, The Multiverse of Madness.
Yes, finally. And this film shows Dr. Stephen Strange on a quest to save the multiverse from Wanda, who vows to absorb the power of America Chavez to control the gateways to enter every reality.
Then this sounds a bit familiar. Before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, click notification updates on future podcasts and Pause videos.
Yes, and thank you for your support. Thank you for listening and watching us. We really appreciate you.
Yes.
And unfortunately, we didn't appreciate this movie as much as the first one. I loved the first movie. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was perfect. And it lined up almost one-to-one with the actual animated Doctor Strange movie that came out years before.
Yes.
But this movie here, for me, left something to be desired. I am aware that many of you probably love it.
Yeah.
And you probably love Wanda and this version of her. But for me, she's a villain. She can't be an anti-hero. She's a villain.
Yeah.
If you do bad things and you're killing people the way that she was murdering everyone, including that one version of the X-Men, Wanda is a villain.
Yeah, there's really no way around it. And it's, oddly enough, that's even brought up in the film. And the film blatantly says that she was not wrong for doing that to people. Strange says she was wrong, but the movie says she wasn't. And she deserved the happiness that she longed for and having a family and vision and all that. So the film kind of brushes off her acts from the WandaVision TV show as if, well, she was hurting worse than the people in the town, so it's okay she did it, which seems really out of place for a movie like this to have.
Now, that being said, and since they're the theory is there are unlimited, untold, unknown number of multiverses.
Right.
Why she find a multiverse where her kids didn't have a mom and dad.
Right.
Where Vision was still alive and go to that version.
Right.
And live happily ever after.
Right.
Then she wouldn't have been a villain.
Right. And it was such an easy way out, an idea. Like, okay, she wouldn't have to hurt anyone. She didn't have to cause trouble or anything. That would have been the end of it. Like, okay, well, this is an easy out and you'd be done with it, with her arc. But it seemed like they really wanted her to be the villain so they could have an entire film around it.
Now, for me, two things. One thing I want to point out for me that was really disappointing for this movie, and here's why. They had us watch WandaVision on Disney+. WandaVision started off fantastic. It was like nothing you'd ever seen. Every episode I was enjoying and loving it until episode 4 when they decided to ruin the illusion. I think the illusion should have been kept to the second to last episode or the last episode because it really was a good plot and very good storyline. Now, that being said, in WandaVision, she could have ended that series not being the villain. They brought in Agatha, a witch who's really supposed to be the villain.
Yeah, and it's obvious she was.
Right, and she is the one who tells Wanda, I knew everything and I was really controlling, you weren't. This was an opportunity to set up Agatha as the big bad and make Wanda not the villain. But they didn't do that. They set it up a very weird ending in WandaVision, and then we get to this movie, and she all out becomes a villain. Not sure why they went that way. I know the Scarlet Witch in the comics, she and her brother were not really good guys.
Yeah.
And she was not really a character for justice. And for those of you who haven't read the original comics when she started or know the original backstory, she was not a really good person to start off with. I thought with Civil War they were going to give her another opportunity, but there they did the same thing. They were on opposite sides, who sided with Tony, who sided with the Cap, and she killed all these people in the building.
Yeah.
And that point there is what has started her demise in the MCU and in theatrical movies. Personally, I think they could have given this character a better storyline and made her better.
And then as the film goes on, there were actually rumors that they were going to retire Doctor Strange's character at some point after this multiverse saga because he's been retired in the comics and replaced with a new person to take the mantle for the title. Well, they kind of already on their way with it here.
I definitely think it's going to happen in the third movie.
Right, because they've already established he did not end up with the woman from the first movie. She went with someone else and basically said it will never happen in any universe no matter how much they try, which was established in What If, which is now canon thanks to the film. And Wong ended up getting the Doctor Strange titles, or Sorcerer Supreme, when it was the 5-year gap when everyone was snapped away from Thanos. And I found it a little ironic because Wong always told Steven he can't do what he wants, he can't just play willy-nilly with the magic and everything, and he's pretty much laying down that it was strict rules for having this title. But then he comes off as a hypocrite because in this film and She-Hulk and other movies where he's now making cameo appearances like Stan Lee used to, he's doing what he wants, being a goofball, having parties, getting in brawls, and having the time of his life. So I kind of felt like either they forgot what they wrote, or Wong's a hypocrite and he wanted to be the one to have fun.
Yeah.
Because it comes off really weird and he starts getting a bit arrogant now with the title. Like now, Doctor Strange is no longer your focus, it's now Wong.
It wasn't until toward the end of the movie when things were going wrong that the arrogance left.
Right.
And then you start seeing the depth of the character and seeing that he really wasn't a jerk.
Right.
That he really wants the best for people and that he really does not dislike Doctor Strange.
Right.
But the way that movie is set up, you're right. All the way until it gets to where
the last 30 minutes.
You think that that's the idea for this character, but it isn't. And it's not fair that they set him up that way.
Right.
But the other thing that you led to, which is my number 2, is the What If series on Disney Plus. Now, when that show was advertised to us, it was like, what if? These are definitely things that didn't happen, but if it happened this way, that made it fun to watch. And the way they set it up is this would never happen, this didn't happen, none of this is canon. Then you get to this movie, the Multiverse of Madness, and 3 elements from the freaking What If series are made canon in this movie, so you basically lied to us, or you decided, hey, these storylines were so good, let's reuse them, which Disney does a lot, in this movie, and you totally just ruined the What If series, so that if there's a second series, I won't watch it because I don't want to see elements of What If Season 2 show up in movies actually being reality. When you tell me these are other diversions, realities that could have happened to these characters, and I'm watching like something fun and different, I wanted to stay that way.
Right.
That's what made What If interesting and fun. But when you take 3 elements from that series and put it in this movie and make them canon, you just messed it up. The big one being Captain America being
taken out?
No.
Or oh wait, I'm sorry. They brought in Captain Carter, right?
Yes.
That
and
was
made
it.
her Captain America. That was supposed to be a what if. Never happened. Wouldn't this have been great, fantastic? This is how she would be different. Well, they brought that in here, plus 2 other elements, and again, that ruined the What If series. Now, let us know what you think. Do you agree, disagree? Tell us in the comments. But for me, that ruined the What If show, because it's no longer What If, is, hey, what if we put these storylines out here and see how we like them, and then what if we take those storylines that are popular and put them in future movies? I don't like being screwed around like that. So for me, that was a bad move.
Right. Now, that being said, as the movie gets further along, like probably halfway, it ends up being a lot like a horror movie, and they really set up like a horror movie, not just because of what's Wanda's goal, but she constantly is taking people out. In every universe, she wipes out so many people, and it's never treated as, well, it's treated bad for the moment, but once it's over, it's like, oh well, that's the end of that, and then they move on, and it's like, they're treating something that's really heavy in this film like it's nothing. She wiped out a bunch of sorcerers. She wiped out other versions of herself. She wiped out another version of the X-Men / Illuminati. In 5 seconds of being introduced, they have set them up to be, oh, they're this alternate team, and then when they get next to her, she snaps all their necks and destroys them and goes after Strange. It's like, well, what's the point of introducing all these new characters in the different universes if you're just going to take them out in less than 30 seconds?
And then here's the thing with this wasn't an original concept. If anyone watched Voltron Legendary Defender, this was Hagar's storyline toward the end of the series in the last 2 seasons,
Yes.
or 3 seasons. Everything that Wanda did in here had already been done in Voltron. Now, for the people out there that crapped on Voltron, said it was bad, wasn't original, it's amazing that Disney decided to take storylines, not 1 but 2 but 3 storylines from Voltron and apply it to this movie. The other is the multiverses and the ribbons. Voltron was the only one that had done that. They stole that. Then they also took her backstory and altered it to match Hagar's backstory. So for a show that everyone crapped on, that was not a real fan of Voltron, Disney took the storyline, thinking no one will realize it, and applied it to this movie. So for me, I want you to understand, I'm not saying this was a bad movie. I'm saying these were the bad parts within it, which left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
I was really happy with the ending because the way the commercials were set up, it looked like Wanda was going to be the hero of the movie and she was a villain. Doctor Strange hardly even appeared in his own commercials for the movie.
Yeah, which was really odd.
So the way it was going, the way I was hearing, I thought it was going to be Wanda, I thought it was going to be Wong. Well, Doctor Strange ended up being the hero in his own movie, which made it a good ending.
Yeah.
Because if it had done anything else, it would have been like, why don't you just take him out now? Because
right.
Clearly this is what you're planning on doing, trying to take away public opinion for him that's positive and put it to someone else. No.
Right. And last thing I want to bring up is another positive is that they still has some great visual effects.
Oh, definitely.
They definitely kept the move, and when they wanted to be like a horror movie, it felt like a horror movie. Everything that was happening, they kept that tone, the music, the effects were really well done. Everyone looked like they really were in other worlds and realities. And they even had one sequence that almost felt like they wanted in What If, or the animated one, where Strange fights a evil version of himself that went crazy, and they kind of have a music battle, not like a rap battle, but they kind of fight each other with the score of the scene, which was actually a neat idea. I liked that, but it felt like it should have been something animated, because it would have worked better in animation rather than live action. It was just the only thing that was animated was the notes. I think it would have worked if they had done it in What If or something animated rather than live action, but it was a good idea that you hadn't seen done before.
True. So I would say this is not for kids. I would not take my children to watch this movie under the age of 16. There's no way I would allow them to watch this movie. So again, for those of you who did so, that's fine. We're all allowed to do what we like. We have choices, but as Rascal said, it's got such a horror feel to it at certain points, and the constant murdering. Now, there are people that like horror movies that are like this. That's fine if you're an adult. I think if you're under a certain age, 14 or younger, this should not be a movie that I would let my children watch until they were older. But that's me. We all do what works best for us.
Right.
So with that being said, he ends up being the hero of the movie. There ends up being a good conclusion to America Chavez storyline, which actually worked well within here. I didn't think it was going to, based on the commercial, but it really worked well within the confines of the story in the movie.
True, because we had doubts, but they managed to make it work. And if they can keep that consistently with the other Phase 4 films and shows, and won't feel like they're trying to push the lead out of the way for a new character or female character, I'd be fine with them doing that, because it worked with Hawkeye and they made it work with this. So keep it like this and we're good.
I hope Wanda is in movie 3. I don't want to see her in the third.
Well, we don't know what she's gonna have with her now.
I hope she's not in here. Let her go bother another hero. If you've seen Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, let us know what you think in the comments below. Did you love it? Hate it? Did you have issues like we did in some elements? Let us know what you think. If you haven't seen it, of course, it's available to purchase. It's available on Disney Plus to watch. Stream it, buy it, watch it, come back and let us know what you think. And did you like this movie better than the first, or did you like them equally? For me, the first movie was perfect.
Yes, definitely. And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and weekly videos on your favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. And again, thank you for your support. If you'd like us to check out your channel and support you as well, leave the name of your channel in the comments below, a link as well. We'll check it out and give you some love and support back as well.
Right. So, thank you so much for watching Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.